Hello, welcome back. Before you watch this video, I'm first going to recommend another video called What is Communism? In that video, I talk about 3 different kinds of communism, which the historian David Priestland has called romantic, radical, and modernist. He makes an argument that when communist parties came to power in real life, what you tended to see was romantic ideas about communism become marginalized and modernist and radical kinds of communism come to the fore. We saw this really play out very strongly in China during the 1950s and 60s under Mao Zedong's leadership. In fact, one of the ways of understanding the twists and turns which characterized Chinese history during that period is that it was shaped by ideological struggles at the top of the Communist Party between these 2 very different ways of understanding communism. These debates and struggles going on within the party were not just empty power struggles between different personalities or different factions. They were very real struggles between different ideals and different visions of the country and how to achieve it. And perhaps more importantly, these were very practical arguments about how best to organise society and the economy given the very real challenges and dilemmas that China was facing at the time. So, for example, Mao was very much a radical kind of communist. He believed very strongly in mobilizing the population with grassroots, bottom-up mass movements, inspiring people with the ideals of building a country where China was no longer going to be subject to the aggression of imperialist, capitalist powers which had ravaged China in the past, countries including Britain and Japan, for example. Instead, he wanted to mobilize people to create themselves and through their own activities a new kind of society which was going to be free from the kinds of exploitations and inequalities that you find in capitalist societies. And to bring this about, Mao wanted a complete transformation of society to get rid of all the hierarchies within it. To try to achieve this, even after Mao and the Communist Party had come to power in 1949, Mao continued to emphasize the importance of revolution. And this didn't mean the kind of revolution where one regime is overthrown and a new regime comes in and takes its place, but a constant vigilance among ordinary people for any emerging signs of inequality in society, which Mao felt would be a threat to the kind of society that he was trying to achieve. But also, amongst the top party leadership were people who completely disagreed with Mao on this. And those people included Deng Xiaoping and Liu Shaoqi. They backed a whole different set of ideas about how to organise politics and society, which resembles a lot more closely what David Priestland has called modernist communism. Instead of a radical form of communism based on continuous mobilisation, they believed that China really needed to focus on development and building up industry in particular. And so they argued that China's economy should take priority. So what was needed was a strong bureaucracy of economic planners to make key decisions about how to organise the economy and how to organise production. But once you have a strong bureaucracy and key decisions coming down from the upper levels, then you want people at the lower levels to follow those orders. Then you start to lose the kinds of grassroots, bottom-up participation that Mao was in favour of. And Mao actually felt that this other kind of communism was a violation of the principles that he was trying to put into practice. So throughout the 1950s and 60s, Chinese history was really shaped by a sort of fluctuation back and forth between these different kinds of communism. Which kind of communism was at the fore at any one moment really depended on a lot of factors, including the international situation. For example, how high the tensions were with foreign powers, including the United States and the Soviet Union. China had very tense relationships at various times with both of these powers. And as these tensions rose and fell, the ideological struggles at the top of the Communist Party were impacted by this. And the nature of Chinese politics and the kinds of policies that were being put into practice would shift back and forth as a result. In the next few videos, I'll talk about some of the specific ways that the radical vision of communism and the modernist vision of communism played out at different times, with major impacts for millions of people's lives. Thank you for watching.